What's a red flag everyone should be aware of when attending a job interview? I brought up a company's awful Glassdoor reviews and they got so mad they ended the interview. Well, guess I dodged that bullet. If you have to make any financial investment into the company in order to work there. I interviewed for a window installation company and did well on the test. They wanted me in sales and said I needed to pay for a laptop. They would cover it and take it out of my checks if I didn't have the cash to pay upfront. If they tell you on arrival that the job you applied for is no longer available, but they have a very similar position that just opened up, leave immediately. It's a bait and switch tactic coupled with a sunk cost fallacy. The new position will be identical to the original one you applied for except the salary is significantly lower. They are hoping that you'll play along because you showed up to be interviewed, probably desperate for work and will accept any job no matter the wage. Furthermore, the position you applied for doesn't really exist, or at least not at the advertised wage. They asked me my political opinion, which I didn't think was right. If they lied about the salary on the posting. We only want the best of the best. Me. How much are you paying? Minimum wage. Employees are either new hires or have been there for 15 years with no in between. There is no room for improvement. It's better to leave for advancement. Nobody wants to work anymore. You are about to find out exactly why nobody wants to work for them. Seriously, every single job I've worked that said that during an interview was toxic and grossly underpaid. One red flag for sure is when they talk about how the company is like a family. Like, that usually means they expect you to be super available all the time and put the job above everything else, even your actual life. We're a family, a dysfunctional one with a narcissistic mom and abusive alcoholic dad. Work hard, play harder, aka we're all functional alcoholics and sleep is for the dead. Untracked PTO. This one can be a green flag, as long as they immediately clarify everyone takes at least 8-10 weeks a year. Otherwise it's a nice way of saying there's no need to track it because we don't take any. Up to X a year performance bonuses. You're going to make minimum wage. Buzzword bingo when you ask what you'd actually be doing. It either means you'll be bored out of your skull, or regularly berated for not being Superman. So if you make it to the 6th round of interviews, you can expect they are not really going to hire anyone. Cut bait. I had an interviewer straight up ask if I'd ever been an addict. Also, if they bristle when you ask why the position is open, why the last person didn't work out. If they want answer that simple question, run. When you were signing all the forms they give you and you were taking your time to read over every document so that you can fully understand what you were getting into, and people come in and start telling you that you don't need to read this and that just sign here and so on. One I never see people mention that I absolutely should have paid attention to. Any implication that the role you're taking on is easy and or not that important. Either this or any signs they may be underestimating the amount of work involved. Seems like a no-brainer, but this gets let slip at interviews a shocking amount. These will be your responsibilities, but you might be asked to take on this and that role. Prepare to take 3 jobs for the salary of 1. I once turned down a job offer because they mentioned that the previous person in the position had quit after a few months, and most of the people I interviewed with seemed stressed out. Caginess about the salary. One job I got handed my predecessor's email, and they were openly talking about how I was underpaid because I was underpaid. They had $22K more in the budget than they paid me, and cheapskated me on that. I lasted 9 months, and was furious. They fucked me for no reason other than they could. Any job advert that says competitive salary, I contact them and say I have a competitive CV. Shall we stop the bullshit now? I interviewed with one of the big ticket networks. It's based in southern New England. The pre-screen call with the hiring manager went well, and our views about writing code, source control, and documentation were spot on, so I thought I'd give it a shot. When I arrived, they took my driver's license from me and told me they'd hold it while I was on site. Then they wanted to do a credit check while I was taking a series of grammar, basic intelligence, and JavaScript tests. I told them there's no way I was going to get my credit dinged with a hard credit check before an offer. The woman from HR just didn't get it. I made sure they stopped the credit check, collected my license, and walked out. I sat in the car for a minute, thinking about the very odd vibe of the place, how they treated me, and wondered about the culture of a place that would do these things. Since then, they have been outed for a whole bunch of issues, including big surprise HR ethics. Looking back, I never should have considered working in that place. I'm very happy where I work now. My boss is smart and flexible, and I'm doing good work as opposed to screwing concert goers. Near miss. A red flag is when the interviewer doesn't ask about your experience or skills in detail, but focuses on your willingness to work long hours or handle excessive workloads. It could mean they expect you to overwork. Where I live, There are some big no-no questions interviewers are generally not allowed to ask in interviews, usually related to marriage status, race, religion, children, etc. When they feel the need to reassure you in the interview that at that company, they work hard, but also play hard. They don't play hard, it's a sweatshop and they're just trying to convince that it's anything but one.